You know that moment you say yes to something? It feels so simple, right? Just one word. But what if I told you that yes is actually the very last brick being laid in this incredibly complex, hidden structure? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the hidden architecture of yes.
All right, you know the scene, right? Picture it. The classic high-pressure salesperson from the movies probably has slicked back hair, and they live by this one single aggressive mantra. Always be closing. Coffees for closers only.
Okay, let's just get one thing straight right off the bat. That whole philosophy, it's dead. It's a relic. Seriously, in today's world, that approach doesn't just fail to work, it actively blows up the one thing that actually gets a deal done: trust.
So if that's dead, what replaced it? Well, the new game is all about shifting from pressure to partnership. And look, this isn't just some small little tweak. It's a complete, fundamental shift. It had to happen, right? We live in a world of super informed consumers who can spot those old, pushy tactics from a mile away.
Yeah, the modern way of thinking about this is completely different. See, closing isn't some tactic you unleash on someone anymore. It's just the logical, helpful end to a conversation where you've actually genuinely solved a problem for them. The new mantra? It's always be helping. The yes just becomes the final, easy step that helps someone make a decision they already feel good about. Okay, so with that new philosophy in mind, what are the actual tools in the toolbox today? Let's do a quick, kind of fast-paced tour through some of the most common frameworks that are used to guide a decision toward yes. Okay, first up, we've got the assumptive close. This one is all about confidence. You basically talk as if the decision to buy is already a done deal. So instead of asking, hey, do you want to move forward with this? You'd say something like, so should we schedule your delivery for Tuesday, or would Thursday be better for you? See how that works? That confidence is it's contagious. It makes saying yes feel like the most natural, obvious next step. And then there's the one you've probably heard of, the famous puppy-dog close. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. A pet store lets you take a puppy home for the weekend. Why? Because they know once you've named it and it's fallen asleep on your lap, there is no way you're bringing it back. In the business world, this is your free trial or pilot program. It taps into this powerful psychological quirk called the endowment effect. The second we feel like we own something, giving it up suddenly feels like a loss. Next, the scarcity close. This one is a direct line into our fear of missing out, FOMO. It's the, hey, this 15% discount ends promptly at midnight on Friday, or we only have 2 onboarding spots left this month. This works like a charm because of something called loss aversion. Psychologically, the pain of losing a good deal is way, way more powerful than the joy of getting one in the first place. Oh, and this one? This one is super clever. The sharp angle close. Here's how it goes. A prospect asks you for a little something extra, right? Like a discount or better terms. You come back with, I might be able to get that approved, but if I can, are you ready to sign the papers today? Boom. It just ingeniously flips their request into your closing trigger. It's brilliant. Okay, so we've seen the what, the playbook, the techniques themselves. But to really, really get it, we have to go deeper. We have to look at the why. So now we're going to shift from the tools to the actual psychology that makes them tick inside the human brain. So yeah, let's ask that big question. Why do these techniques work so well, so consistently? I mean, it's not just about using clever words, right? It's because they're designed to plug directly into the hidden subconscious wiring of our minds. And this is where it gets absolutely fascinating. These techniques are actually targeting specific responses in our brains. So seeing a brand new offer can literally trigger a dopamine release. That's the reward chemical, which makes us feel good and lowers our skepticism. That FOMO we talked about, that activates the amygdala, the brain's alarm system, basically pushing us to make a panic-driven decision to avoid a threat. And even just building good rapport, mirroring someone's body language, can release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which creates this powerful, sometimes unearned feeling of trust. So these brain chemicals are then leveraged through our mind's built-in shortcuts, what psychologists call cognitive biases. We already talked about loss aversion, that fear of losing out. Then there's anchoring. That means the very first price you hear massively influences how you see value for the rest of the entire conversation. And then there's consistency. This is our deep, almost primal need to act in a way that's consistent with things we've already said or done. Okay, you ready? We're going another level deeper now. because there's this entire framework that's all about using language to speak directly to the subconscious, the part of the brain that's really making the decisions. Some people call this the master level of influence.
It's called Neuro-Linguistic Programming, or NLP for short. You might have heard it described as a user manual for the brain, which is kind of catchy. Really, it's a powerful toolkit for understanding how we communicate. The whole idea is that a lot of our decisions are made unconsciously, way before we're even aware of them. NLP aims to shape the conversation in a way that speaks directly to that unconscious mind.
A really core concept in NLP is something called pacing and leading. It's a two-step process. First, you pace. This means you match the other person's reality. You validate their concerns. You say something like, "You're absolutely right. That is a significant investment in this economy." What you're doing is building a bridge of trust and understanding. And only then, once that bridge is built, can you lead them across it to a new way of thinking. Which is exactly why it's so critical to make sure it delivers a 3x return.
Now, as you can probably imagine, having this kind of psychological insight well, it's incredibly powerful. And with great power comes this absolute, non-negotiable need to talk about where we draw a very, very bright ethical line.
Okay, so this is the most critical point of all. It really comes down to one thing: intent. Ethical influence is all about helping someone make a good decision that is genuinely in their own best interest. It's about clearing away the fog and empowering their choice. Manipulation, on the other hand, only serves the seller. It's designed to short-circuit your judgment and basically remove choice, usually through a fog of pressure and deception.
And here are the giant flashing red flags that tell you you've crossed over from influence into manipulation. First, artificial urgency, that exploding offer that just so happens to expire the second you want to think about it. Then there's invalidation, when someone makes you feel stupid or irrational for having legitimate concerns. You've also got relentless persistence, just totally ignoring you when you say you're not interested. There's also information snowballing. That's when they just overwhelm you with jargon and data until your brain gets tired and just wants to give in. And finally, watch out for the yes ladder, where they get you to say yes to a bunch of small, easy things just to build momentum and trap you into saying yes to the final big thing you didn't really want.
So, how do you defend yourself against this stuff? This is maybe the most important part of our whole chat. Understanding these techniques isn't just some interesting trivia. This knowledge, this is your shield.
Here are 4 simple, actionable steps you can use right away. Number 1, recognize the feeling. Trust your gut. If you feel like you're being worked or that someone is performing for you, you probably are. Number 2, implement the 24-hour rule. For any major decision, never ever sign on the spot. Insist on a cooling off period. This immediately kills any fake urgency. 3, verify everything. I mean everything. Independently check all the claims, from special offers to product features. And finally, number 4, master the power of no. Just say no, clearly and firmly, and be willing to walk away without feeling like you owe them some long justification. You don't. And that leaves us with one final big thought to chew on. In a world that's just filled with persuasive algorithms and subconscious triggers, in a world where influence is becoming more scientific every single day, what does it actually mean to make